Today devotees are celebrating Vyas Puja of His Holiness Gour Govind Swami Maharaj. Can you please share something on that also? I have not met Gour Govind Maharaj. When I became a devotee in 1993, and many Prabhupada Western disciples were having, bad day, some on some pretext or other they are falling down. That time, the one Indian sannyasi who became hero of the world, ISKCON world, was Gour Govind Maharaj. The fame of Gour Govind Maharaj was sky high. I had a great longing to meet him in person, but we were so absorbed, or we were so engaged full in Krishna consciousness by Krishna Sir, we never found any time, no holiday, nothing. We were just, and suddenly Prabhupada Maharaj comes from Mayapur. Of course, we knew that Gour Govind Maharaj left in Mayapur in 1996. GBC meeting, and in 94 I had the Govardhan Parikrama, but I didn't see Maharaj in Govardhan Parikrama, and it's all about white sannyasis, white devotees. In Gaur-Mandal Parikrama 1994, the participants are whites, the gurus are white, GBCs are white. It's all white elephants. Maybe me and Nabayavana and Srinivasa, these three of us, we are odd men out there. It's a fact. We hardly found anyone Indian those days. And in that context, those days, it was declared that Gour Govind Maharaj is a pure devotee. And one of the famous thing in Mayapur, in one Sankirtan, he entered into ecstasy, and Prabhupada, godbrother, Akinchan Das Babaji, he said that he was in ecstasy. He became completely unconscious, but then there are some, just like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya tested Lord Chaitanya in front of Lord Jagannath when he lost his external consciousness. So my association with Gour Govind Maharaj is through his lectures, and I have heard many of his lectures. One of the things that I liked from his advice to God brothers who were falling down, because people asked this question. I think Sachinandan Maharaj asked. Sachinandan Maharaj is one of the Maharajs when he attended literally every lecture of Gour Govind Maharaj when he was in European trip. And so he Maharaj was asked this question. I think Sachinandan Maharaj asked, or somebody asked Maharaj this question about the Prabhupada disciples, senior disciples falling down, particularly gurus. So Maharaj gave a very fantastic answer. I thought that's a very thoughtful answer. He said they should have waited. They should have made sure that they are actually liberated. Because in the presence of Srila Prabhupada, they were getting guidance of Prabhupada, and hence, they were like kings. But when Prabhupada left, they have to operate on them on their own. So are they fully self-controlled? They have, just like today we heard that bhakti is not for conditioned soul. Bhakti is meant for those who are liberated. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. So he gave that fantastic answer. The early days of Gour Govind Maharaj is that once he developed a detachment from this world, then he went in search of the Guru and went to Haridwar, and then he was actually sometime in Sivananda ashram in Rishikesh. And as usual, I have seen in Orissa in my 1981 to 83 experience, I have seen in Orissa those days anybody who exhibited some symptom of detachment, they all went to Haridwar or north. That was a very, very, later I realized is something spectacular, but this used to, and we used to, of course I never made any comment on those things, but I used to hear this, and in fact, one of my friends, Vibhu, he used to point me, do you remember that fellow we met on that day? I said, yes, we had a nice talk. And he has left to Haridwar. So this kind of talk. So in general, following that footstep, I think Gour Govind Maharaj went in that direction then. But as Providence has arranged for his perfect journey, he came back to Vrindavan, Mathura, and met Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada immediately understood he is a very elevated soul, and he was very quickly initiated and given very quickly also sannyas. He was appointed. Prabhupada wanted him to develop Bhubaneswar project, and from the Prabhupada perspective, Bhubaneswar and Puri was very, very powerful project. Puri has remained unfulfilled dream of Prabhupada. Someone has to fulfill it. I don't know who will fulfill that, because somewhere other problems are coming in Puri. Because to do something in Puri, you need Lord Jagannath's special mercy. But anyway, and Gour Govind Maharaj, Prabhupada Maharaj used to tell that when he was studying in Bani Bihar, he used to go there, and Maharaj used to distribute khichdi. And those days, Odia people were normally very poor, and they used to put some 5 paisa, 25 paisa as a donation. And one of the things that didn't happen to Maharaj, although Maharaj was known as a pure devotee when I became devotee, but before that, for a long time, Prabhupada God brothers didn't recognize Gour Govind Maharaj is a very exalted soul, and then hence they didn't allow him to initiate disciples. And that was one of the things that he could not be as successful as he would have been. But once he was allowed to become a guru, then he could initiate many foreign disciples, and then they brought Lakshmi, and that is how VVSR or Bhubaneswar temple was built. It is a beautiful temple, but unfortunately after his departure, things have gone haywire. He also built a nice temple in Gadagiri where my own marriage took place. I have taken some of you also Gadagiri temple. I don't know when it happened. I don't know how many of you remember we went to Gadagiri temple, and we Maharaj was a Premi Bhakta, there is no question about it. He certainly departed for to associate in Radha Krishna pastime, there is no doubt about it. Gour Govind Maharaj came from a very humble background. He was a teacher, and later many of his students also will become his disciples, and would help him in his mission. Gour Govind Maharaj was very popular in Orissa during his time because he initiated many foreign disciples, and many Odia people actually appreciated that he is a very empowered person because he is able to attract Westerners as disciples. So this was at some point of time, 1994 or 95, Odisha government wanted to donate some 1500 acre or 400 acre, some huge chunk of land to establish Jayadeva University under the guidance of Gour Govind Maharaj. And that time Bhaktarupa Prabhu personally came to IIT Delhi and was having discussion with us, and I was one of the participants to that discussion. I didn't know what happened after that, but anyway, Maharaj left very quickly. He really left very quickly. I don't know why Krishna takes his very elevated devotees so fast. Then who will fulfill the mission of Lord Chaitanya? Sometime I wonder. I think that Gour Govind Maharaj would have been here, probably this Jayadeva University would have been a reality, and actually they had identified already the land, and government of India, government of Odisha was very eager to see this project to come up, Jayadeva University, and that didn't happen. And yes, but I like the lectures of Gour Govind Maharaj. It's my favorite after Srila Prabhupada. There is no doubt. If somebody tells me whose lecture you would hear after Prabhupada, then I would hear Gour Govind Maharaj lectures. So that's my. But I miss him. I had a tremendous lamentation that I didn't meet him, because he was there. He was there. I came in 93 March and he left in 96 February. So it's almost like 3 years. But it's just we didn't meet, and I didn't have that opportunity to have his. But my parents had a good association. In fact, during his departure past time, they were personally there. They have touched his lotus feet, and so there are certain. So it is Jayapataka Maharaj was. Jayapataka Maharaj is very wonderful. He has been there in Mayapur, serving so many exalted souls, whether it is Gour Govind Maharaj or our Tamal Krishna Goswami, Sridhar Maharaj. Many people he has taken care of during their departure past time. So he is really very special person, Jayapataka Maharaj. Anyway, so this is my my small meditation on this very auspicious day of Gour Govind Maharaj's Vyas Puja appearance day. His Holiness Gour Govind Maharaj ki. Yeah. I think we should stop here. We overstepped the time limit today. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.